The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Thursday, the 16th day of December, 2021. Welcome to the Daily Hour, brought to you by Medical House One Communications and Lindos. I'm Jamal Hartman. She's Sherry Vanderpool, and Leanna Lambert will be with us in a bit to bring you the latest in her news break, brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Sherry, it's a Thursday. How goes it?
Well, first of all, I love Throwback Thursday. I just love Thursday. And then tomorrow's Friday.
Really? When did that change?
So exciting. You play your own clapping music for yourself.
Yeah. No, it was supposed to be that one. It was, yeah.
Oh my gosh. I'm coming up with my own sound effects. I'm telling you.
Yeah. My joke didn't go far, but hey, maybe next time, folks. Good morning, everyone, and thanks for making us part of your daily routine. Another good one today is Nikco Albuoy of Advanced Air stops by. This is a brilliant story, folks. So if you've got aspirations of being an entrepreneur, or you know someone who is interested in being an entrepreneur, make sure you let them know this is the show that they want to be motivated and inspired by. We've got more Christmas trivia for you as well. And let's just say, I was wondering if Sherry was watching Good Day Bermuda today.
You're so shitty. Oh my God.
Yeah, well, communication is key, especially when you're doing what we do. And I guess I need to start communicating with the ladies of Good Day Bermuda more, because they pretty much told Sherry what today's answer is, folks.
Oh, really? I already knew it, though. I knew it.
What did you know? What was the answer?
It was Paris.
Oh.
I knew it.
Sherry, Good Day Bermuda, she cheated.
I didn't. When Jackie was up there trying to think, I was like, or Terry, I was like, Paris. But I was brushing my teeth. I couldn't type.
Mm-hmm.
I
Anyway,
already knew that.
Whatever. So we have to find another question, folks. If you wanna send me an email real quickly, what we can ask her, since the Good Day Bermuda girls helped Sherry cheat this morning. They knew what I weren't going to be asking, right? And I'd have asked the question, and then it would have been this thing. But anyway, we'll see if Sherry can get whatever question you all email me in a few. But we have another important conversation, really carrying on in the same space of formal education this morning. And good morning to you, Karen Simmons. She says, good morning, TDH. Can't wait to hear Sherry sing today. Sing. Don't do that to us.
Don't do that.
Says, good morning, TDH family. Yes, good morning. And our good friend, James Burst, good morning to you as well. So here's your question for the day. So one of our audience members, Kenton Trott, he's, very active and engaged in the audience. He had something up about homework last week on Twitter. So the question really comes out of that conversation, especially as we go towards the holiday break for students, and summer breaks you can include in this as well. But it's a debate. Should students still be receiving homework? Should schools still be sending students home with homework? That's the question of the morning. Should students will be receiving homework? And I see, Sherry, you are eager for this.
Well, I think it just all depends on the developmental stage of where the child is. And then it also depends on what is carried over when at home. Because to me, that's a key part of not sending homework in the sense of the continuous learning. And when I talk about continuous learning, I'm talking about reading at night, parents reading to children or this kind of things, making everything around you kind of a teachable moment, go put this in the circle that's over there, all of those kind of things. Are those things still carried on? And I've seen some students where that does not happen. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, it just, to me, all depends on what is going on the other end, to not have a formal set of homework. I know in many other countries that they don't do that, but that their whole system is geared for that, which makes a difference in regards to not having any at all. I think once you kind of get to kind of high school, maybe not so much so, because you're going to be transitioning into, a work field. But yeah, I just think it just depends on developmentally.
All right. Charlotte Fox says, no, it's break time. But Charlotte Fox, I'm not just talking about like holiday break or summer break. I'm just in general. Do you believe students should still be receiving homework in general, like going home at night?
Right. And I think she's saying, no, it's a break after school. That's how I'm taking it.
I hope clarity, but my original question, I did mention holiday and summer. So I just want to make sure that I'm expressing the clarity there. Karen Simmons says, homework during breaks given on holidays are parents' work. Oh, that's in my response too. That's in my response. Sam Cat Place says, of course, my irritation is that they don't get it. Oh, you sound like a hater, Sam Cat. Sam's like, well, I got homework. Why shouldn't they? She says, I guess COVID is to blame for that too. So here's the thing with homework for me, and I'll share my answer and then we can go back to the audience. So should students still be receiving homework? I'm going to give a big fat no. No whatsoever. Part of the reason is what Karen Simmons said, is a lot of homework becomes the parents' work, right? That's one. Number two is we're living in an era where we continuously speak about work-life balance. School that's the institution. When children go home, they need to be able to be children. Whether that's extracurricular activities, their brains need a rest, right? They need to be doing other things, right, that are outside of what they were doing all day. So I am vehemently against homework. Homework doesn't define how intelligent it's going to be, how successful they're going to be. I think it's one of those things that is outdated. It's an outdated practice. And for the sake, and I'm not a parent, but I see how stressful it is for parents. I see you have some parents, especially in Bermuda, right, who are out there working multiple jobs. So they may not be able to assist children with homework. And so children go into school with homework undone, because there's no one to assist them with it. I think it's an outdated practice personally. So if you ask me, should students still be receiving homework? My answer would be no.
And I still hold true to, and I got what you're saying in regards to that, but I still am looking at the kids who don't get it while they're in school. What happens to them? Because there is kids that just don't get it.
Yeah, but that's the institution that fixes that problem, though. If a child is not getting it per se, then it's up to the educators to say, you know what, we have a student in our class that may need remedial training or something, whatnot. It's not the parent's responsibility. A parent is there to provide for their child. There's a reason, there's a law that they send them to this institution of learning so that they can get that education. To put that load on parents, let's be honest, homework comes on to parents, especially those big science projects. Not like I ever had, but when it comes to projects, parents are taking. And again, I think starting early about work-life balance should be a part of education. That should be a part of it. Like, right now we're living in a time where people are pushing for maternity leave and paternity leave, things of
Paternity. Mhm.
we're also pushing for making sure people take their PTO, personal time off, their vacation time. We're making sure that,
Yeah.
when people
Mental
clock
health days.
yeah, mental health days, as they've spoken about on Good Day Bermuda. I just feel like this is a conversation that's much bigger than my opinion or your opinion. I think this is a conversation that needs to literally happen on a governmental level, on an
Yeah.
education level. This is because, to me, I want to know if there have been studies. If there have been studies to show the impact that homework has on the family.
Well, and I think, like I said, in other countries where they don't have homework, but it is a whole curriculum surrounding that need to not follow through with that at the, not to have that. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? And kids don't know about projects, Jamal. The projects we had to do, encyclopedias and going to the library. These lots got it easy.
Literally, like, all they have to do is go on the computer right now. I remember going to the library and having to well, I mean, mama really kind of, yeah, but you know what I'm saying. Like,
But
it
it
is,
goes to your point.
yeah, like parents. I'm always thinking of the parent or guardian, right? That is responsible for their students. I just think it's an additional strain on them. And so, for those who are just tuning in, and thank you, I can't thank you all enough for joining us on YouTube. More and more of you have made that switch, and we appreciate you. Also, stick close. If you haven't subscribed on our website, please go on our website and subscribe. When I tell you, there's some big things coming in the new year. Cher's probably going to be mad you all getting more love than her in the new year. I'm just saying. But make sure you subscribe on our website. Go down on our website to the bottom and subscribe, because we are going to be rewarding our audience. So it's thedailyhour.com. Go on our website, make sure you subscribe, and we'll be in touch with you. But the question of the morning, should students still be receiving homework? Philip Truck for you, Sherry.
Homework assumes that every child has the same resources to complete it: parental help, quiet space, computer and internet, no younger siblings to watch, etc. True,
Mhm.
Phil.
Yeah.
Very true.
And Phil, if you don't mind me saying, you come from that space. You were an educator. So you have an understanding from an educator's perspective. Karen Simmons says, I agree with Jamel. And I believe, again, she didn't confirm, but Karen Simmons is an educator as well.
Yes,
So
she is.
she is, right? Okay. But these are important conversations, because I remember, and I was one of those people in detention sometimes, but I remember people in detention, and you're like, well, what'd you do wrong? Oh, I didn't have my homework done. And their circumstance and situation. And these people, to Phil's point, probably didn't have the parent or guardian there to assist them with homework. They didn't have the resources. They didn't have that quiet space. They didn't have they had other things that they had to do, maybe piano lessons, maybe football, maybe dance, and so on. Are we saying that we're going to take them away from extracurricular? My hope, and I don't think people who disagree with me are just old and traditional conservative. I really think that people who disagree with my perspective on this in particular have a different experience, right? And I think I try not to use my experience as the guide of what's right or wrong, because my experience doesn't reflect the reality of others. What I will say is, I came from parents that, oh, well, I can't assist you, you're getting a tutor. Not everyone has the resources even to get children tutors.
Absolutely.
You know?
We talk about latchkey, having to be home and be self-sufficient. And that is if you are that child. I see Jamal dropping his bag and getting right back outside. But, and that's why I'm saying teachable moments. If we know our children, my sister read Danielle Steele. I liked comic books. My mother knew the difference. Well, maybe not Danielle Steele, but that's a little grand. But nevertheless, it was it was a difference in what it is that she knew that we would enjoy in regards to. My mama was like, but she's reading, whether it's a comic book or not, she's reading. Like, get over it, in this sense. So it's just to know your child.
Right.
And if you don't, if your child is not that person, then you have to find other ways, and there are.
Yeah, and I agree with you, Sherry. Question of the morning again: should students still be receiving homework? Do you believe students should still be receiving homework? Kathy Brumby, Sherry.
You was one of 4 children and never did homework, which affected my grades. In my last year, I did homework, which took me up 15 spots in class. I
And
was one of 4 children.
I think she meant I. Well, okay, and this is good because again, you're speaking from your experience for as homework. But to me, Kathy, this is more of a reflection on the institution and the educator than it is the student's performance. Because if the educator, and I'm not picking on teachers, because if it's two people, I don't like to critique. It's police officers and teachers, right? I think they have just crazy jobs that aren't really understood and appreciated. But what I'm saying is that if they were doing their job, they would ensure that you have the information you need to learn within the holes of the classroom so that you can do better and move 15 spots. You get what I'm saying? It's not the responsibility of going home and relying on those not in the classroom to help and teach you. Am I saying parents have no responsibility for their children or education? I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that their job is to provide the best opportunities for their children: food, shelter, an opportunity to go to an institution of learning so that they can get that what they deem as the best to be contribute to their society as they grow older. Philip Schott says, I provided homework, but it was always optional and never punitive if it was not completed. I used it as a prep for the next lesson. If a student completed it, I had other work for them to do. Teresa Ann Marie, Sherry.
Homework is definitely stressful for most parents, kids too. Perhaps limited it to weekends could work.
Well,
And I
see,
think it just so depends on what kind of extracurricular activities also, have, for kids. And I look at that as a break the
yeah.
weekend. You know what I mean? If we look at it like that from work,
Mhm.
it is the same thing. And I think weekends are meant to be, was fun going on a Saturday and whatever, or you're doing your extracurricular activities. I don't want no homework on a weekend.
I think I would highly disagree with weekends for this simple fact: is that's the greatest open space of time for those who work just Monday through Friday, but also students to do extracurricular activities, may that be sports, may it be religious, but also downtime. Like
Yeah.
the idea that people should be going. I just don't agree with that. But I see your point, Teresa Emma. What we're looking for is solutions where they can get downtime in the evenings and so on. But I just think if we focused more on what needs to be done during school hours, then we shouldn't even be having these discussions. No, that said, what can they do to keep their mind going? Reading. Give them reading assignments or something. Reading's not necessarily homework. Now, that can come from the parents. Reading. Simple.
Mhm.
Angeline Butler for you, Sherry.
So back in my day, homework weighed pretty high, read your grades. So I was one who did my homework because I did not test well, but that was over 30 years ago. Tell me about it, Angeline.
Yeah, that's why my GPA was so low. Or it was heavily
Let's
weighted for me as well. And again, I'm like Angeline, I didn't test well. So you had to
me either.
really do well in things like homework. So it was beneficial for me in that respect, even though I still didn't do it. Nikki Michelle says, my child doesn't do homework. I let the teacher know it's an enjoyable moment in my house, and I don't need to be my child's enemy. I know she will be equipped adequately before she becomes an adult, despite not doing homework. Thank you. I think we're at,
Hmm.
thank you, Nikki. And this is pretty much my point of it all right here, wrapped up right here. This is the gift of where I'm going with homework. We cannot as adults be angry at employers for not respecting work-life balance and then supporting the opposite when it comes to students. That's my only
Right.
point. And so, you know, I'm not saying that I have to repeat this every show at this point because I don't want people running like, oh, Jamal said and his dismissing other opinions. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just really trying to explain why I strongly believe in my stance and my perspective regarding homework. I'll use this show for instance. I'll pick on Leanna. She's not here to defend us, so I'll do that. But Leanna would tell you folks, if I see a story that's breaking, I'm not hitting Leanna. Hey, Lee, you want to make, I'm very strategic in how I do that, because one thing I do, I respect these let's time. I respect their right to enjoy life, to do their other jobs and so on. If anything, I'm going to say it, they probably hit me up about work more than I hit them up. Even Sherry. No,
I was gonna say, Jamal's over there telling stories. He is on my fan all day.
but I honestly try not to say, hey guys, let's do, what do you think about it? Like, it's draining, and people have other things to do. And we, so it's one of those things where you gotta, on this, we have to evolve as individuals, Sherry. We can't really think that because it worked 20 years ago, it should still work right now. And I think every one of us, Terry, Jackie, Leanna, Larry, you, Phil, all of us understand one thing. We all have priorities in life. And we have to understand that some days this may not be one of them.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're absolutely right. And when you talk about not testing well, gosh, I don't know if you had stay nines, but like that didn't do well. Yeah, you did. But nevertheless, I think that the curriculum needs to be changed in that aspect, and be able to incorporate that, but we also need people to do what they need to do outside of it too.
Indeed. Quick yes or no, audience. What do you think? Should students still be receiving homework? Yes or no? Yes or no? Quick yes or no. We go through these last few comments. Raquel Wainwright, is homework supposed to reinforce what has been taught in class? I am not an educator, so I can't answer that. But
they say that.
Probably.
They say that.
Renee Simmons says, times has changed. It shouldn't be every night throughout the week. Maybe midweek, a review, say a Wednesday after school. And Philip Trott says, the problem with using homework as a grade is teachers cannot be sure that the child is the one doing the homework. Grades are to assess student learning, not if work is completed correctly. This is a good point, Phil. That is a point. And this is true. I mean, who's left doing homework a lot of the times? So the question, should students still be receiving homework? Yes or no? Marquita Lee says no. We have a no from Sean Smith. Shayna Smith says no. We have Karen Simmons, no. Yolanda Richards, no. Angeline Butler, no. Monica Dunstan, who I believe is a teacher as well, says no. So look, it seems pretty consistent that there's a lot of no's. And so look, I'm sorry, I'm laughing. Hard note. Nikki Charles has a hard note. And Renee Simmons says no. Folks, again, thank you all so much for participating in these conversations. I'm not saying what we discuss is going to change the way we live, but I think these conversations are important to have, simply because you never know who is watching and who may consider it. Education minister, if he comes back on, these are some things that we can discuss with him. They always speak about how we can make education better. How can we improve education? Something as simple as homework, whether it's necessary or not, that I've never heard anyone on that level speak of, it could make a difference. So appreciate your contribution. Let's bring Leanna in, see what Lee thinks, because I hope she don't tell you all I give her homework or anything, because that'll really take away from my point. But good morning. How are you, sister?
I was just about to say, are you lying to the people this morning? Good morning, everyone. That's Tuesday.
I mean, stretching, lying, it's not real.
You're one of those, it's a fib. It's not a lie.
Yeah, you know how it goes. Why she got to be like that, Lee? What?
It's just how she said it. It's a fib.
All fair folks, Leanna's my bestest friend in the whole wide world. Is that a fib?
This Christmas present.
That's a fib.
You hear it, right?
I'm closer to you to get a gift than Sherry. But anyway, Lee, what are your thoughts? You went to school way more recently than Sherry, and more recently than me.
This guy.
What are your thoughts on homework?
I honestly believe, I agree with Phil in the audience. I feel as if, review work, you never know who's actually doing the homework at home, whether it's parents or it's the children. I feel like, you're tested on your knowledge of what you learn in the classroom. And yes, you should be reviewing what you've learned, but I don't feel as if homework provides that for students. It's more of I feel like it's a burden for them to go home and have to sometimes complete homework when they're, like you said, people have lives, there are other things going on. I feel like a hard review of what was taught in the classroom is something that, should be adopted rather than do this homework, complete it so you can get graded on it.
Yeah, makes sense, Lee. Makes sense, and I think I concur with you and Phil in that respect. Ready for the news break?
I'm ready. Let's go.
All right, she is ready. She's pumped, folks. Let's have it. Over to you, Lee.
Thanks, Jamal and Sherry, and good morning to everyone that's tuned in with us on this thankful Thursday. I hope you all are having a great start to the day. I'm Leanna Lambert, and it's time for the Daily Hour News Break, brought to you by People's Pharmacy. So here's what's going on in today's top stories. 25-year-old Daquan Williams was yesterday charged in the Supreme Court with a daylight shooting that took place in St. David's earlier this year. Now, Williams pleaded guilty to unlawfully shooting 22-year-old Isaiah Creighton with intent to cause grievous bodily harm. He also admitted to using a firearm to commit an indictable offense in connection with the incident, which took place on August 27th on Orange Hill Road. He further denied charges, however, of attempted murder of Mr. Creighton. Now, Williams, who is currently in custody, will be sentenced on January 10th. Meanwhile, a second man, 22-year-old Delon Fishenden, was charged in the same incident with attempted murder, shooting with intent to cause grievous bodily harm, and using a firearm to commit an indictable offense. In other news, just yesterday, we had reported that the new travel regulations had come into effect on Monday, which included requiring non-residents of 12 years and older to be fully vaccinated to enter the island, whether by air or sea. However, health officials yesterday said that visitors to Bermuda aged 18 and older must be fully immunized. Health Minister Kim Wilson said that the age had been upped because the vaccine rollout for children in the countries of our gateway cities has been good but inconsistent, particularly in the UK. Now, according to Ms. Wilson, there were children who had not yet received the second shot, showing that they were not fully vaccinated as a result of UK government policy. Meanwhile, the Bermuda Hotel Association, in collaboration with the Department of Workforce Development and the Bermuda Tourism Authority, will be holding a recruitment drive on Tuesday, December 21st. Now, according to a spokesperson, they said that they are inviting all persons to participate who are keenly interested in pursuing career opportunities in the hospitality hotel industry for the upcoming 2022 season, to include but are not limited to waiter servers, stewarding, housekeeping, bartenders, front desk agents, and administration. The recruitment drive is scheduled to be held at the Harborview Ballroom at the Hamilton Princess and Beach Club. And the Bermuda Football Association Referee Committee has announced that 3 local officials have been added to the FIFA list as assistant referees for 2022. The trio consists of Natasha Trott, Clinton Hayward, and Stephen Mabry, with Ms. Trott becoming the first Bermudian female to receive this honor. Now, Cranston Williams, chairman of the referees committee, said that it was a bittersweet day as they also celebrate one of their stalwarts, Gregory Grimes, who sadly passed away. He acknowledged how hard the trio had worked despite COVID-19 pandemic and said its news is a huge milestone for the BFA and is another step forward for our match officials. Taking a look at today's weather, we have a high near 70 and a low near 64 degrees. There will be sunny spells developing at times throughout the day. Extensive cloud trapped under the high pressure in the area will break up at times, allowing more sunshine through. The rather cool temperatures will slowly recover as east-northeast winds veer into the southwest. Now, tonight will be partly to mostly cloudy with winds southeasterly to moderate. That's all for our Daily Hour news break brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Now let's head back to Jamal and Sherry in the studio for today's Daily Focus.
All right, thanks so much for that, Lee. We have a good one coming up with Nikco, Albuoy, and Advance. Yeah, I'm just smiling because I see the Royal Gazette has a story in here, and this is not to take away because I want to give props to the young lady, the FIFA referee. That's huge. And over the next few days, we'll be speaking about the power of women athletes that was 2021 in Bermuda. But businessman defends himself against slew of delivery complaints, and looks like Mr. Simmons has shown his face. That's the gentleman. As I stated a couple weeks ago, people were complaining about $170 turkey, and now they're complaining about the alleged turkey scammer. Folks, let me just say this before you all go. Let me say this, and we have an entrepreneur coming on, right? I don't know Nikco's pricing. I don't know Sencha Durham, who's coming on tomorrow, her pricing, or this or that. But if someone wants to price something at $200 and another person prices the same thing at $50, right? And you think that going with what makes more sense financially because it's what you can afford, that's okay. That's okay. Mm-hmm. The issue comes when you complain about the $170 turkey, right? And then you go for the cheaper option, and that cheaper option ends up costing you more than the $170 turkey. Just think about that. I'm not alleging or saying anything, but think about the cost you pay when you go for, well, different options. Lee?
Jamal's on his teachable moments this morning.
I mean, he's on it today.
Teachable moments. All right, Mal.
We're about to get a lesson from Advanced there, Lee. Thank you so much for that. And you and Coco have a great day.
We will.
You're all laughing at me. See you tomorrow, Lee.
Bye, Lee.
All right, folks, don't go anywhere. We've got Nikco, Albuoy, coming up. I'm going to joke about Nikco. I should have brought Leanna in on it. So apparently someone started a thing about the best looking guys or something on Instagram. I think you mentioned it yesterday. Yeah. And so somebody commented yesterday on Twitter saying, how you have one twin and not the other? They have the exact same damn face. Like, I'm going to put him on the spot about that. We'll be right back. Sure, it's not about that, but that was just the most ridiculous thing to me. Let's go to a break. Stick with us.
All right. Hi, I'm Karen, a nurse at the old folks home. These long hours used to kill my feet until my hairdresser told me about a great place to buy a pair of clogs. Medical House. Finally, relief. They also carry uniforms in bright, bold colors. And not to mention the support stockings.
Karen, Miss Soltis bet her bet again.
Oh gosh, these days I need all the support I can get.
Medical House has relocated next to the Dendy Town Field, number 6 Bakery Lane, Pembroke.
John Barrett & Son, Bermuda's foremost distributor of fine beverages, is bringing on the joyful festivities this winter with Barrett Stone Ginger Beer. We've extolled the virtues of this traditional Bermudian drink before. It's refreshing and spicy and wonderful in the kitchen. Google cooking with ginger beer and you'll be amazed by the diversity and wow factor of the recipes. As our good friend Bruce Barrett says, bubbly, tasty, full of spice, refreshing and exciting. When it hits your taste buds, mate, full flavor is igniting. Lindo's, why go anyplace else?
Show, Sherry Vanderpool. I'm Jamal Hartman. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by Medical House, One Communications, Lindo's, and our friends over at People's Pharmacy. Without further ado, let's bring in our guest for the day. I'm going to ask him, is he the one that got included or the one that got left out? It's the craziest thing. Nikco, Albuoy, welcome to the show, brother.
Hey, good morning, everyone. I was thinking, hey, Sherry.
Hi, Cole.
What's up now?
Man, I'm good, but I was confused.
Jamal, you're on mute.
Yeah, I can't hear your mic. You're on mute.
The mic cords.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Because I knew he was
Like,
going to say, people to say some craziness in it.
I
No,
know,
I'm
but
still
I
here.
was just saying, Coke, how is it that you're not on there and Kawhi is? Like, that makes no sense.
Hey, I don't know. Hey, I told your wife, I said, what, you scared everyone from voting for me? I said, if you're going to scare everyone from voting for me, you should have voted for me.
When in doubt, always blame the wife. I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
100%.
Now, hopefully my didn't hear that, but yeah, I would agree with you. So look, let's get to the conversation, man. First of all, congratulations. You
Hey,
did
thanks. I
things that I
appreciate it.
think we all are excited for you about. But just speak to us about what inspired you to want to earn and operate your own business.
Truth be told, I'm done air conditioning since I graduated from high school. Um, I wasn't really the one to be interested into going away to college and stuff like that. So, I just ended up finding a job because I still living at home. My daddy said, if you're not going to college, you're not going to live in this house, you better get a job. And it just happened that one of the jobs that I got was the air conditioning job. Not because I was interested in it, just because they was hiring and I had to get a job.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
That sounds like a traditional Bermuda story. Your parents say you ain't going to school. Well, look, yeah, you know what's happening if you want to stick around here. So no, I've enjoyed watching you guys' story, and it's quite incredible how you've evolved. And both you and your brother have businesses. I think he was recently awarded products and services or something. And
That's the Bermuda, I think it was.
Yeah, and I honestly thought it was you because I didn't know you both had. Look, I'm knowing you guys since we were all pups, and I still get mixed up. So my apologies for that. The only way I can tell the difference. The only way I can tell the difference is the children.
Yeah.
2 daughters, one son. Seriously, when they put pictures up, seriously.
Yeah.
I look for wedding rings. That doesn't work either.
I'm a little slow to the party sometimes. But look, there was a video last year. This is what really got me shared during the pandemic. Of new services that you were offering. Many people were down and out, like some people, lost jobs and so on. And here you came out swinging, and, the video was showing what your company does to pretty much answer the call of keeping a clean environment. Where did that idea come from?
Yeah, man. To be honest, it was just stumbled upon. I was home like everybody else on lockdown, browsing, you know what I mean? And I just came across, I was just doing research on the pandemic and, the viruses and all that anyway. And I just happened to click on a link which was updating people about the new way the world was going and how things was about to, go and how the world was about to tackle this type of stuff. You know what I mean? And I was just like, look, this would be an awesome thing for Bermuda to have. You know what I mean? So I started doing my research, and I actually managed to get that part of my business because Advanced Dirt was for air conditioning. You know what I mean? We didn't do the disinfecting and stuff yet. The disinfecting part literally only came in when the pandemic hit. You know what I mean? So I managed to get all my equipment, all the things I needed right from home. I didn't even have to leave the house.
Wow.
Yeah.
And with that being said, like learning something new and trying to merge it with the business that you already had, how was that going? Tell us more about that, because air conditioning is one thing, and then when you talk about disinfecting is another. But you managed to merge them together. Like, how was that for you?
Yeah, it was a pretty easy transition, to be honest, because as far as the disinfectant goes, it kind of fluctuates. You know what I mean? Once, like, if the island keeps getting big numbers of, COVID cases and stuff, then we have more businesses and stuff hitting us up to be disinfected. You know what I mean? Or the more numbers people have and people are home, because we do businesses, we do private residence, we do cars, whatever you want us to do. We literally did it all. You know what I mean? So it wasn't very hard because, like I said, the actual disinfectant part of it fluctuates. So you would notice that we would get more disinfecting jobs when the COVID numbers go up. You know what I mean? And when they go down, it slows down a bit. You know, so it's easy. It's not that hard to balance at all.
What I find very go ahead.
Oh, okay. No, I was just saying. Once I found all my equipment and stuff, you know, I took online course, for them to teach us how to do it correctly. You know what I mean? And that's what I share with my employees, and that's just the practices we use now.
Awesome. And it's interesting that your company is called Advanced Air. You started with air conditioning, now you're advancing into another component of,
I need to think about this.
See, just stick with me, not that your mouth. But what makes Advanced Air different from other companies and in that same space? Because I know other companies have emerged or all of a sudden now disinfect. What makes Advanced Air different?
I don't know, man. I just have to go out on a limb and say we was the first. You know what I mean? We was the first to bring this disinfectant stuff. In my view, in my opinion, we was the first to bring this disinfectant stuff to the island. You know what I mean? It is a lot of people doing it now, but when we started, it wasn't anybody doing that. You know what I mean? So not only that, even the guys that I've employed are guys that have worked with me for years and years. You know what I mean? So what makes Advanced Air is literally like a family. You know what I mean? Literally like a family, and we act like a family. We fight like families. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, we do our job with pride, we do our job with quality, and we do our job efficiently. You know what I mean? Awesome. And I heard Jamal talk about prices and stuff. You know what I mean? One thing we do pride ourselves on is very compatible prices. You know what I mean? And very good service for your money. You know what I mean? I have to kind of agree with Jamal a little bit that, sometimes you get what you pay for.
Yeah. Just a little bit. No, I agree for sure.
Hey, I don't agree with him much, but this is a United fan. So that says a lot about his judgment.
Okay, and I'm sure you agree about the homework part with him. So I'll give you two things.
He actually spiked my mind a little bit with that.
See, because I bet his him doing homework. See?
Yeah, 100%. See, I was like, you know what? You're right. They don't really need to do homework like that. But then I heard Liana, and I'm like, they have to review them.
Yeah. Right.
Because children, if you don't stay on top of them, exactly, they just forget everything. And trust me.
Well, speaking of lessons, and homework and getting to know your business, what are some of the lessons you learned about entrepreneurship and having been in business during one of the toughest economic times that we've had going on?
One of the biggest things I'm learned is that it fluctuates. You know what I mean? You will be enjoying and that's one of the main reasons why I try to add another dynamic to my business, because once the pandemic hit, the air conditioning slowed right up. People didn't want you in the house. You couldn't go in people's houses.
Yeah.
You couldn't mix households and all that type of stuff. So I had to learn to be patient, because right before the pandemic hit my business, we started Advanced Air in 2018. So, that first year is like a free hit, but no, it's 2019, you're picking up, you have a good year, and then bang, pandemic hit. You know what I mean? So here you are, you got all my stock, all my air conditioners just stocked up, which, you're paid so much money for, they're just stocked up, they can't move. So, just learn to be patient and just don't panic.
Yeah.
Don't panic. Don't be like, oh, what I'm gonna do. Just ride it out. You gotta ride it out. You have to ride it out.
It's interesting you mentioned that, because one of the lessons of entrepreneurship, one of the first things they teach you is you probably won't make a profit in your first 3 years. And
absolutely.
You said you started 2018, 2020, it all went to pieces. It could have said, you know what? This ain't it. But you immediately
Yeah.
And something that said, you know what? Nah, there's an opportunity in this to kind of grow this company. We don't have to feel when you look at people who, you know, I'll use maybe a retail company, right? Or a restaurant. Restaurants will probably hit the hardest, right?
Yeah. And bars.
And bars, right? Now you look at restaurants and bars. I mean, I wouldn't even know where to really just go hang out for some chicken wings in Bermuda right now, like how we would do other places. But let's say a restaurant bar. If you were looking at that kind of business versus your concept, right? Do you think there were opportunities there as well? Or do you think, no, in my space, I was just, you know, lucky to find that? Because
do I think it was opportunities for the restaurants and bars?
do you think, because some people think, oh, not every industry had those opportunities, right? And like Sherry said, you guys, it was, people would think, oh, it's just air conditioning.
Yeah.
But if you added a component, many people probably wouldn't even thought, oh, this is something we can add to our services. Do you think restaurants and bars, there were other opportunities for them as well? Like just from the outside looking in, the way you advanced?
I'm not sure, man. I think the restaurants and bars were looked at as and to be fair, a restaurant or a bar is pretty much just that. You know what I mean? You can't really, I'm not sure what they could have added to a restaurant or a bar to give it a different dynamic. You know what I mean? So maybe that's not the best thing to compare it to, because I feel like, you know, if I have a bar and I serve alcohol, I need people in my bar to drink alcohol. But we're saying that I feel like they did make them, and that's when you see all the sidewalks and stuff, people outside dining, and like take Funzin built the big outdoor deck.
Right.
You know what I mean? So people was catching on, and you know, and that's what you have to do. You can't just sit up and wait for things to get better, because every time this thing hit, bars and restaurants were the first things to close.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have just a two-part question real quick. When I look at you, I see girl dad, you know.
Yeah.
How important is it for you to kind of leave this legacy for your girls, you know?
Yeah.
In addition to a girl dad, a good husband, how important is that support? You know, I know you mentioned Shannon before, so you got to say good morning to the head, to the boss.
Yeah, she's on drop off duty right now, so you know. But yeah, man, my oldest one, I'm actually took her on a few jobs with me. You know what I mean? I take on the jobs, and she's on her cell phone, so I take the cell phone too, because I make her work. But she's good. She knows the basics of it and stuff like that. She's not always interested in coming, but some days she'll be like, "Daddy, can I come with you?" And I'm like, "Hey, that's real."
Yeah.
You know, I love it. You know what I mean? I love it.
Yeah. Let's go to the audience. It seems like these folks have a lot to speak to you about. Terry K says, do you have any plans to expand into any other space in this industry?
Not really. We do residential, we do commercial, we pretty much do it all when it comes to air conditioning and disinfecting as it is. I would think the next step would be to like find a place to work out of. You know what I mean? Like you know how you could go around to Bermuda air conditioning and you could go around to Urker. I think my next step would have to be something on that level, not as big, you know what I mean? But that would be my next step if, you know, expanding comes into play.
Let's go back. We have, well, this is a comment by Sierra Lachey. She says, deaf have to be able to adapt and adjust easily. Teresa Ann Marie says, there are so many AC companies now, so competition must be very stiff. Diversification must be key. What extra services do you offer in yours?
Extra services, you know, when it comes to the air conditioning, it's not really extra services you can do. You can just be, you know, very, very familiar with your customers, very open with your customers, very transparent with your customers. You just got to let your service speak for itself, really. And not only your service, your reputation, you know. So it could be a million air conditioning companies, but if I do this air conditioning job over here, I do it perfectly, efficiently, You know what I mean? And this person's happy, they will refer you to that person. You know what I mean? So your name is your trademark. You know, your work is your trademark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's we've got another one. I think, Terry, you kind of answered this a bit. Do you have a plan to bring your children and other family members into the business operations? I know you said you take your daughter every now and then, but as far as like bringing them into the business operations and keeping it going.
I'm not sure. That's not something that I could answer. That's something that they would have to say, Daddy, this is what I want to do. You know what I mean? For the most part, when I take my daughter with me, it's about spending time with her. You know what I mean? And letting her know she's not going to be just another pretty face. You better know how to do something, girl.
Hey, look, folks, he's bringing it this morning. Despite technical difficulties here this morning, we definitely appreciated the conversation, and I absolutely love it, bro. I think last year when that video came out on social media, it was one of those things I was happy to retweet and share. So on, not just because I knew you, but because it was like, this is a brother he's not sitting back complaining about what's going on. He's finding another way to provide for he and his family. So, no diss to those who don't, but it's more or less, there are people like yourself who are giving us, inspiration and motivation to keep going. There's no business, no life is without obstacles, right? As we see your journey, please let us know what we can do to continue to support your journey. Folks, if you want to get in touch with him, you've seen it down the bottom of the screen for the last 10 minutes, advancedair.com, advancedairbda@gmail.com, advancedair on Instagram. What would you like to say to someone, someone who basically they may have lost a job, but they have the skills to go out on their own, but they're a bit afraid? Any advice you would give to someone like that?
If you're out of a job and you have skill sets to do something, invest in it. You know what I mean? And if try to just push yourself, don't sit up and really wait for nobody to give it to you. You know what I mean? Use your connections, use who you know, and use your skills. Be patient. Be patient. But at the end of the day, ain't nobody just gonna give it to you. You gotta get up and go do it yourself.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? You gotta get up and go do it yourself.
Indeed. Nikco, Albuoy, it has been a pleasure, my brother.
Nice to see you, Co.
Nice to see you, Sherry, man. Thanks again for the opportunity, man.
You're welcome.
We know you're busy. We appreciate you doing it. So love to the family. Happy holidays to you all, and we'll be in touch. Easy.
Guys, have a good day.
You too. Alrighty. Nikco, Albuoy, folks, Advanced Air. Hey, it doesn't have to be summer to get assistance. Please reach out if you need some assistance from the brother. Really love to see his journey. Do not go anywhere. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back to wrap this show up. Thank you to Nikco. As I've said already, YouTube, you all are showing out. Everyone, continue to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, go to our website and make sure you subscribe. We don't send out emails every day or even every week or even every month, but subscribe to our website. We're going to tell you, we don't do those boring emails to folks. People, you are going to be rewarded for supporting us. Just do it. Go on our website, put your email in, and sign up. We're going to take a quick break and then come back, and then Sherry is going to embarrass us. Sherry is going to guess the answer correctly because Terry already gave it to her. And no, I'm not changing the question. Terry and Jackie, good day, Bermuda.
Hi, Bermuda. As the festive season is upon us, I'm back again to remind you to shop local. Local retailers are filling their shelves with gifts and goodies for all of our holiday needs. And to make shopping even more exciting, you can play our holiday scratch and win at participating retailers. There's great prizes to be won, so shop local and have some fun. Scratch the card, and if you see 3 matching center bags, turn that card over and scratch to see what you have won. Have fun, Bermuda, and remember to shop locally this holiday season.
Eat, shop, and play in the Easies this holiday season for your chance to win a $500 cash voucher to your favorite small business in the BEDC Economic Empowerment Zone, Somerset, Northeast Hamilton, and St. George's.
All you have to do is spend $20 or more in any participating business, restaurant, or store. Simply scan the QR code on our flyers in store or visit bedc.bn to submit your receipt and contact information. Now until New Year's Eve.
Shop local, shop Bermuda, and support a small business this Christmas. For more information, please visit www.bedc.bn.
Welcome back to the big show. Thanks again to Nikco. Albuoy. Folks, if you appreciated that conversation, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, a love, a like to Nikco and Advanced Air. It is time for the Daily Play brought to you by Heineken 0.0. Thanks again to People's Pharmacy, Medical House, Lindo's, and One Communications for their continued support. A few comments. Congrats, Twin. And Charlotte Fox says, great interview, all the best, Twin. Sancha Dorm says, love that he always accommodates, called this morning, and he fit me in today. Look at that. Back to back. Sancha Dorm will be on tomorrow. She is someone I've admired for years, the way she moves, lady entrepreneur. I don't even like saying lady entrepreneur. She's an entrepreneur, but, you know, I'm looking forward to that convo with our sister. Renee Sherlin Simmons said he took the opportunity to pivot and still stay employed to provide for his family. Good stuff. And that's what it comes down to, folks, seriously. But don't forget to give us a thumbs up, a love, a like, wherever you're tuned in. And don't forget to go to our website and subscribe. Again, we don't bother you. We're not those people. All right, here we go. It's time for the Daily Play brought to you by Heineken 0.0. Audience, Sherry, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, here it is. In the movie Home Alone 2, where did Kevin's family go to on vacation?
See, and I think this is a trick. I'm going to still say Paris, but I know Home Alone 1 and Home Alone 2 probably have two different places. But I'm still going to go with Paris.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah. Right. So was it England for Home Alone 2?
Folks, in the movie Home Alone 2, what southern state? I gave you that one. I gave you that.
I see that.
Did Kevin's family
Florida.
Go I said, I'm going to give her the hints because I want it to look good.
Whatever. I knew when you said the question, I said, okay, the first one must have been Home Alone 1. So he's throwing in Home Alone 2, which is fine. I'm still going to say Paris, although I think it's wrong. You know, I still had a whole process. It's okay. You could try to be shady and whatever. I'm still on to you. But not be less.
She got it before you. And then Michael David Wilson was more accurate. He said Miami, but it was Florida, Miami, Florida. And, you know, Terry and Jackie, I'll be talking to you about what you're going to be talking about in particular so that, you know, Sherry doesn't know the answers. But I got a little trick in there. You helped me get a little trick in there. All right. Any final words on today's show? Wrap it up, Sherry.
Yeah, no homework. I still say it developmentally, you know, and there is work to be outside of school that can still be fun for children to learn, you know. As far as Co, I love Co, you know, he's just a light. I love the fact that, like I said, you named your business Advanced Air, and it has definitely advanced and has definitely pivoted. And he's just a good person, and I love what he's doing with his business, you know, especially during a time like this. So I still encourage him, and everyone, please use his service.
Indeed. And I want to say this, as far as the homework part of the discussion this morning, I don't necessarily think, you know, there's a right or wrong answer. I think Sherry made a good point. You know, every child learns in different ways. They have their own speed, right? But I want us to think long and deep on this. And what I mean by that is homework beneficial for every student, or does it cause more stress for most parents? That's what I think we need to consider. Are we using the time in school as best as we can? Another one. So as far as Nikco, I can't thank him enough for stopping by, and I can't thank him enough because he's not doing this to be an example to others. But I'm definitely grateful that he has done it and is an example to others. We need more stories like this. props to him. Congratulations to him. And look, let's support our people as they grow businesses, even during this time that we're currently living in. Sherry, you've got some daily inspiration before we head out?
I do. What you get by achieving your goals is not as important as what you become by achieving your goals. Zig Ziglar. Yeah.
Alrighty. Love that one. Love that one. Folks, we've got to head out. Big shout out to Mama Hartman out there. And folks, we will be back with you tomorrow, but you know what time it is. We've got to say it. I know Sherry loves to say it to you, but I actually miss you. So thanks again to our partners.
Miss people.
House One Communications, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you. We love you. We thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. She's Sherry Vanderpool. I'm Jamal Hartman. My friends, please make it a great day. We are out. Peace.